Hi friends, morning. Give me a second.
Anjana,
Hi team. Deepak, Jaya. Is this Mohan? D for DD. Okay. Right. So in yesterday's class, we have learned different methods, sequential methods and incremental methods. Uh, Incremental method, rapid action development model, a prototype model, and spiral models, right? And sequential model, waterfall model, V model. So what are the different types of, what is SDLC actually? Anybody? So software development, that's all. So in interview, if I ask a question, interviewer asks a question, what is SDLC? You say software development, that's it. So you guys are having any problem in speaking, or you are not in a right location? Yes. Oh, is it? It is Vinith. Good. Nice. So, hi Vinit. Like actually, this is our second class, so we are going on. So, if you want a demo class or like you missed the classes, we can discuss in your available time, sometime today or tomorrow. Okay. 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 Fine. So, right. Okay. So just let me recap small things. So project and product we have learned. So project is a particular soft project is a software which you develop for a particular client, whereas product is a software. So product is a software which you develop for multiple clients based on market requirement. Okay. These are the different testing principles which we have learned, and types of testings. We have software testing. In software testing, we have static testing and dynamic testing. In static testing, reviews, walkthroughs, dynamic unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and UAT. Okay. So different phases of SDLCs. We have requirement phase. So see, I'm once again explaining. In an interview, if a person asks, interviewer asks you a question, what is SDLC? Or what do you know about SDLC? Or explain about SDLC. You should say SDLC is software development lifecycle. Means SDLC means software development lifecycle. It is a process of developing a software. Flow of a process, the process of developing a software. It contains different phases, like one first phase, like requirement phase, design phase, code or build phase, testing phase, deployment phase, or implementation phase, or delivery phase, you can say. So in requirement phase, client, by the time you say these all, he will stop here, he will ask for next question, because he has some disturbance is coming. So some disturbance, lot of disturbance is coming. Uh, can you guys mute? So different phases: requirement, design, code build, testing, and deployment phase. So requirement. By the time you answer all this, means you keep on you explain this format. He will stop here and he will ask for next question. He will go for next question. If he still did not ask anything, you keep on continuously explaining all these things, because you should not stop anywhere. Requirement phase, design phase, code or build phase, testing phase, deployment phase. In requirement phase, we get the requirements, all the things, and in design phase, they develop the architect and how to develop the software, all those things. In coding, the developers do the coding part. In testing, testers do the testing part. Deployment and implementation, we deliver the things. So in detail, we'll go more when we read about V model. We'll understand more. Okay. So that is about SDLC. Okay. So we'll go for V model first. Let me take one image for you. So you see here V model. Okay. So this is one important part in our this one. V model is something more important part, but now they are not using it. But now when the Agile has come into the picture, we are not much of a V model thing. But so this V model will explain you everything. If you understand this V model, what it is, you can understand almost SDLC, STLC's basic, very important points. Okay. So this V model means it is called as we can say VV model, or see, it's a verification and validation. So here you can see in one side we have verification, another side we have validation. So here in where, so you can see here the first part. First part, when we start anything, when we start, um, 1 second. So what are our basic SDLC part? Steps just now we discussed: requirement, design, code, code development or build, code build, testing part, and deployment. Okay. So these all are our SDLCs, right? So now in requirement part, what we do? In requirement part, we have requirements. See here, V model means it is in the V shape, so we call it as V model. Here, initially we have business requirement specifications, client requirement specifications, or user requirement specifications. So these all are the documents. business requirement specification document. Means like how we need to do, what we need to do, what type of work we need to do. Those all will be written in a documented form called as business requirement specification document. Okay, so after this business requirement specification is been written, they will prepare SRS document. SRS is system requirement specification document. So in the system requirement specification document, we have everything what need to be tested, what need to be validated, and all the details will be there for testing purpose and everything. So these are the documents, requirement document, specification documents. So this document comes under our requirement phase. Okay, preparation of this one comes under requirement phase. Okay, now requirement has been completed. So what we do, next step is in our form SDLC is design part. So in design part, here we have two types. One is HLD, another is LLD. High level design document and low level design document. What is this high level design document and low level design document? So in high level design document, we have a diagrammatical description. Means we will divide this one into one big module, and some small modules will be there. So in this big module, this high level design document will be prepared. Means like diagrammatical description, diagrammatical representation will be there in this high level design documentation. And when we come to this low level design documentation, we have detailed description of design document. Okay, are you getting me? High level design document and low level design document. In high level design document, it will be diagrammatical representation of what we need to design. Means flow charts, sheets, diagrams, like how the flow should be there, how we from one screen to how second screen we need to navigate, what are the navigation things. All these things will be there in high level design document. In low level design document, detailed description of the designing, how we need to one screen to another screen, how we need to integrate, all those things will be there in low level design document. In one word, you can say high level design document contains detailed description, detailed representation, and in low level design document, we can say it is a detailed, sorry, in high level design document is a diagrammatical representation. We can say diagrammatical representation. In low level design document, we can say it is as a detailed description. Okay, so now we see this part is called as design phase. Okay, this part is called design phase. After design phase, we see coding. Okay, we see coding part. So now the developers do coding here and they develop the software. Okay, till now what happened? Till now what happened? Requirement phase, design phase we have completed, and now we are in coding phase. So now the software is developed. So till now have we done any testing part? And we have done any testing? Yes. So we have done some testing part also we have done. So that testing is called static testing. As we have discussed yesterday, we have two types of testings, static testing and dynamic testing. Yesterday we have discussed static testing, right? So this part is called static testing. In static testing, yesterday I have explained we don't do any code testing. We don't do any code testing. We don't do any physical testing. We do review documents. We do reviews. So in yesterday we have explained, you see static testing means we have reviews, walkthroughs, inspections. So here you can see. So BRS, SRS document, SRS document. Here we have a review. So here we review these documents. So testing team also involves here in reviewing the documents, in reviewing the requirements. In designing also we do review these design documents. Okay, so this part is called static testing. Okay, static testing. Next, coming to development. So here coding is been done. After coding, then software is developed, ready. So before software development, we do static testing. After software development, the testing what we do is called as dynamic testing. Okay. So now software is developed, coding is developed. After code is developed, we do develop unit testing. So after unit testing, based on the design document, HDLC and LDLS, integration testing is done. So this part is done by developers. Okay, and this is called as white box testing. Unit testing and integration testing are called as white box testing, done by developers. And after these two are completed, based on the application, now the software is ready, right? And based on SRS document is of system requirement specification document, where we have each and everything in detail, like what need to be validated, what need to be verified, what need to be checked, what buttons, what everything will be there in system requirement specification document. So this part we do testing based on the document, based on the software. So we combine these two, we verify this uh, SRS document, and we work on this software, and we do testing, which is called as system testing. And after system testing, end user or a business expert, SME subject matter expert, or a client, or end user or business user, they do testing based on the documents they have provided, business requirement specifications what they have provided. They verify this software. So based on the documents, they verify the software user acceptance. So they verify whether the software is working properly or not, whether it is working as per their requirements or not. So this user acceptance testing is done in two phases. One is an alpha testing, another is beta testing. So what is alpha testing? So alpha testing means we do testing in development premises. Development premises means like we set up an environment as a live environment, but the environment would be in developers environment, and that is called alpha testing. And when we deliver it in a live environment and when we testing there, that is called as beta testing. Means if you see, for example, beta testing means in mobile companies, they when they develop some new mobiles, they give some pieces to their employees to use them, go out and use them, and do testing and work on it and let us know if any issues are there. So that is beta testing. Means we insert our SIM, we do use our mobile, and we do testing. Means beta testing for some people live environment they provide to test. And this complete testing is called as dynamic testing. Okay. Dynamic testing, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing. So any questions here? Good, clear, right? Now see, means here coding we are done, so this testing part we are done, and this deployment part is this one, validation, verification. So one thing we need to understand, what do you understand by this verification and validation? What is the difference you understood here? What is the difference you understood here, verification and validation part? So what we need to understand is verification is something what we have done before software is developed. Okay, we are verifying whether we are in right path of developing the software or not. Validation is a part what we are doing after software is developed. See, software is developed. Now we are doing validation, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing. But verification we are doing before software is developed, when it is in the process. So this is verification and validation. Okay. Clear? So this V model is basically used for small size projects when there is no there is no much uh, clear requirements are there. This V model is used. So now with this, you need to understand that you should be in a position to explain SDLC in detail. If anybody asks, if the interviewer asks in more detail, you need to be in a position to explain these all. So in this V model projects, we do both verification and validation. Both are done. Okay, right. So next, next we go for waterfall model. So next one we go for waterfall model. So in waterfall model, here also, as we have seen here in V model, first phase we have requirements. Okay, in requirements we have two types: user requirements, system requirements. Then we go for design level. Here in design we have same HDD, HDL, high level design document, and a low level design document. Okay, and then coding part. I'll show you one thing. Yes. Okay. Fine, that's fine. So design, requirement, coding, and then comes testing, and then comes delivery. So the difference between waterfall model and V model is, so in waterfall model we come from top to bottom. So requirements, design, coding, testing. Here, when the requirements are very clear, we go for waterfall model. Because see, once we have done software development is done, we cannot go back. Okay, in waterfall model we cannot go back. That is the reason this waterfall model is not much applicable. So this is best suitable for small size projects, because here in waterfall model, one point we need to understand is each step is carried. One step is carried. After one step, another step is carried. So in V model, so in V model, see here, we are doing reviewing, we are designing, coding is done. So based on this documents, verification, all are done parallelly. But when compared to waterfall model, once requirement is done, it is freezed. That's all. No more changes. Then design will be done. So once design is done, it is freezed. No more changes. Then coding is done, freezed. Then testing is done, completed. Deployment is done, completed. So if the when the project is very small size and when the requirements are very clear, here we do we use waterfall model, and in waterfall model validation is enough, no verification is required, because once requirements are freezed, no verification, nobody reviews the requirements. Design is done, freezed, coding is there, freezed. So here, so if they ask what is the difference between waterfall model and V model, first point we need to say is requirements are clear in waterfall model, and in V model requirements are not clear. In waterfall model, only validation is enough, verification is not required. But whereas in V model, verification is also required and requirements are not clear. Both are carried for small size projects only. Since the fall forms like this, it is called as waterfall model. Since we have in V shape like this, it is called as V model. Okay, see if the class ends here in Zoom meeting, I'll again schedule the meeting and I'll again give you. Okay, I'll again schedule the meeting and I'll give you the user ID and password. Okay. So this is about waterfall model and V model. Are you clear? Any questions here? This is one very important one which is asked in interviews. Waterfall and V model. Okay. Next. Yeah. So next part. Next part we see is reviews, static reviews. So I think yesterday we had written somewhere. Let me check. Yeah. So static reviews. We are discussing about this static reviews, management reviews, technical reviews. Formal. I'll explain in detail about these now. Okay. So static reviews. In static reviews, what we do in static reviews means it is a process of verifying are we developing the right system or not. So here we have seen in this V model, yeah, in V model we have seen review. Here you can see business requirement specifications, SRS, design document reviews. So these reviews are done on based on the documents which we had. So this all reviews are called as static testing. There also testing is done, but statically we are verifying the documents only. We are verifying the requirement documents whether they are in properly designed as per the client's requirements. Those are being written or not. The documents are prepared as per the client's requirement or not. So here reviews, management reviews. Initially, first one point is in static reviews we don't do any code testing is not done, executing of any code is not done, or any physical testing on the application is being not done in reviews. Okay, that is one important point. Next, coming to management reviews. Management reviews. So here management reviews top level management or middle level management, both involves in these reviews. And what they verify is whether we are going in a proper way, whether our development of the software is being done as per our timelines, or is there any slippage. See, understand this word slippage, very important one. Sometimes they may ask in interview slippage. What is slippage? Slippage means the deviation between the actual effort and estimated effort. Okay, or planned effort. So the deviation between the planned effort and actual effort is called as slippage. So the management reviews and verifies. See, for example, our deadline, we have our deadline is today 5th of January, Tuesday. We need to complete 5 pages, 5 web pages. We need to develop 5 web pages, but we have developed only 3 web pages. And management conducted a review. The management review is there, and they see, oh, our requirement is to complete 5 pages, but only 3 pages are developed. So they verify. The actual planned is 5. Planned effort is 5. Actual effort is 3. So the deviation between these 5 and 3 is called as slippage, and they verify this and they try to provide some corrective measures or preventive measures. The corrective measures means we can rectify the mistakes what we have done. Means mistakes, what type of mistakes we make? Overcommitted. We have overcommitted. See, we have 2 developers. We have only 4 days, and we have overcommitted to complete 5 pages, but it is not completed. So that is a corrective measure. Is we should not overestimate the thing. So from next time onwards, they give some buffer time and they estimate properly. And preventive measures is like, actually we have planned for 4 developers to work on 5 pages. Unfortunately, 3 of them are gone on leave, or 2 of them are gone on leave. Unfortunately, we cannot do that. That is not a mistake. Unfortunate things. So we cannot correct such things. So we need to prevent. From next time onwards, what we need to do? How can we prevent this such things? So what we do is we need to estimate. So there are 4 developers. We need to keep 1 developer buffer zone, and we need to reduce the effort. Like 4 developers, 5 pages. If we give 4 developers 3 pages and we keep 1 developer in buffer to work on, then we don't get this deviation, slippages. We don't get right. So to the management provides such tips to the team. So that is called slippage. Corrective measures and preventive measures. Okay, management reviews have been done. So next, the software is getting ready. So technical reviews. So technical person or technical architect, whoever is there, who are having there, we in the team or in the organization, high level technical team will be there. So the technical team will conduct the reviews, and they see the design documents and all our technicalities what in developing a software are being done as per our requirements or not. Means what are the technical aspects we need to consider while developing. We are considering all those or not, they will be verified by the technical team. So right, so technical team have done the technical review has been done. Next comes the formal review. This formal review is nothing but they have the proper procedure. They go through a proper procedure. They have the document. So they go through the document, and they follow the procedures and the proper documentations, and they verify whether the software is being developed in the proper as per the documentation provided. Next, in this formal review, we have planning, kickoff meetings, review meetings, rework meetings, follow-up meetings, inspections are done here, auditings. So in this formal reviews, everything will be conducted. Then comes the informal reviews. Informal reviews means we have peer reviews and code reviews. So the team will be called for a review meeting, and they review the code. Means peer review and code review means you have developed a code, and I will review your code. I have been done the testing. I have written test cases, and I am doing the testing. So I will allocate one more tester on my module or my user story or my enhancement to look into my case to verify whether I have covered all the scenarios. So means peer review means you don't do all the testing what I have done. I will be doing my module completely, but I will ask you to have a look on it, have a glance on my testing, on my application, what I have tested, so that I don't miss anything. Basic functionalities or nothing is being missed. So that is informal reviews. Okay. So we have discussed about waterfall model, verification and validation. So important point is verification. It is done before development of the software. Validation after